Hi, so today I will be giving a presentation on technology supports for Village of Marici. And I am a Indiana University OT student and I graduate in May. So to kind of start, I'll go through my project timeline of this whole thing. So a while ago, we started the research, which my research, I wanted to emphasize the need for technology for those with IDD or individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. So that was kind of where we started. And then the second part of it was identifying the specific need that Village of Marici had. And this one was like utilizing smart home technologies to increase independence for the individual and decreasing the dependence on either the caregiving staff or like direct support professionals in general. Third, we went into the development. So this is when I started really researching and diving into resources and education materials. And then launching, which is like the technology role that we have now, the program overall, and creating a new assessment tool for the use at North End. So that research that I was talking about, these are just 4 different articles. I had a lot more than this, but I thought these were the most specific and beneficial to kind of put out there to say that technology was being used in a positive way. So first, achieving employment-related outcomes. Second, enhancing agency and self-determination and also their well-being. Third, empowering individuals to do more and facilitate everyday living and participation. And then 4, most importantly, decreasing the dependence on caregivers and staff, which we all know that it is hard to get staff these days. So this was a really important research topic. So the gains and needs of the site and the individuals, kind of like our stakeholders type thing. So the Village of Marici first, just overall increasing knowledge of technology supports, encouraging the individuals to use technology for tasks, and increasing dependence on the staff. And as an individual, the gains and needs, increasing their comfort level and knowledge of smart technologies around them and ones that could be used to benefit them, and also increasing autonomy, so giving them the choice to choose whatever they want to like use or what they would most benefit from. And in that same sense, the client-specific devices, apps, or skills that you could customize to them. So the needs assessment, which is kind of like the gap we identified at the beginning of all this process. So mine was locate specific technology supports, research the skills and accommodations of those specific supports, and also develop programming with an educational component that could benefit staff and clients. So that's kind of where we kickstarted. And the goals of my project, the student will gain and utilize knowledge gained from the Assistive Technology Industry Association conference, which I attended in January and it was super great. Conference to increase technology supports within the community and assistant program development within the 14 weeks. And then the student will develop a program and identify resources to sustain technology supports program by the week 14. So to kind of start, we started with a technology survey, which I wanted to send out to individuals on the North End interest list, but also all the individuals we support, just to kind of get an idea of what technology was also being already being used and for what reason. So that could be like reminders, calendar, medication reminders, booking appointments, GPS, booking Uber rides, things of that nature. So kind of just putting that out there to see like where we were standing. So again, identifying the technology already being used. And then one question I did ask on it was just to see the willingness to learn more about technology and if like getting the buy-in from individuals. So after doing a lot of research on resources and going to the ATI conference, we started to dive a little deeper into some Alexa devices, which were really cool. And this is one that really stood out to us and offers a lot of benefits and accessibility features. So I'll play this video really quick.
Alexa, call Dad. You get it?
Maybe you don't love it.
Alexa, show me cupcake recipes from Food Network. 1.5 cups of graham crackers. Alexa, show me the front door. Alexa, play Mrs. Maisel on Prime Video. You're weird ass. Weird what? Thing I asked for in your contract. Get pounding me when I ask for it.
So that was just a quick video showing all the features that the Echo Show 10 offers. Like in this video, she has it on her island. It's kind of tracking her around the room, which is nice, especially for people who have limited mobility, and just tracks your voice. So it's great for social participation and interacting if someone else were to have that Amazon Alexa like it showed in the video. And then the next video, so this is called Alexa Together, and it is a skill I found that's compatible on Alexa, obviously, by the name. And it's kind of like an app or skill to take over remote monitoring services, or if someone would want to watch their loved one or caregiver, or like check in on them every now and then. It does cost, and this is included in a technology resource binder that I made. And this is, I want to say it's a $200 yearly subscription, or you can pay $20 a month. So I'll play a quick video kind of to summarize this.
Alexa, start my day.
Good morning. This is Alexa Together, a remote caregiving service used with Echo devices that helps you care for your loved ones, even when you're apart. You've always been there to help. With Remote Assist, you can do even more, like using your phone to set a reminder on a loved one's Echo device.
This is a reminder. Take your pills.
Alexa, thank you.
Alexa, drop in on Mom.
Hey, baby.
How was your minus working out?
That's between me and Alexa.
I see how it is.
Alexa Together also includes urgent response. Available 24/7, your loved one can access it just by asking Alexa.
Alexa, call for help.
No phones to find, no buttons to push.
Call an urgent response.
Hello, this is Johnny with Amazon Emergency Services.
Even if you're not there, Alexa Together allows multiple family members to receive notifications and stay informed about your loved one's well-being.
Dad, what happened?
Where's my uncle?
Stay where you are. I'm coming over now. Love you.
You can also set up customized alerts, like a notification if your loved one hasn't used Alexa for a while.
Hey,
What are you up to tonight, Mom?
I decided to stay home and finish my painting.
Well, just call me, check on you, Mom. Love you.
Good night, son.
Alexa Together from Amazon. Stay close to your loved ones wherever you are.
So I just thought that was a cute video to kind of show what the Alexa can offer as another form of remote caregiving service. And it's a form of smart technology, so that's a really big focus of my project. And at the beginning, well, actually kind of the mid of the semester, I guess you can say. So in March, I had an introduction to technology PowerPoint, and this kind of touched on kitchen gadgets, bathroom gadgets, bedroom gadgets, and then as you can see, like a miscellaneous technology. So we focused on like smart thermometers, smart air fryers, smart toothbrushes is a big one, a toothpaste dispenser to make an activity, or like to make toothpaste, putting toothpaste on your toothbrush easier. Hands-free soap dispenser, like little things, like forms of low tech, an Echo Dot, a smart TV, smart lighting, the list goes on, and it's never ending. So these are all forms of technology that could be super beneficial. And we kind of went over and touched the sense of like making your smart home. It's like a work smarter, not harder type deal. So using all these gadgets, and I'm sure obviously there's more that I didn't list, but these would be super beneficial. So I wanted to have this PowerPoint, an introduction before beginning assessments, the technology assessments that I had, to kind of introduce residents, coaches, staff to all the possibilities of what there could be and if something would help somebody. So this next video that I'm going to show is actually where we got the assessment tool from. So earlier in the semester in January, we went to Cincinnati and got to tour a smart home, which LAD had built. And it was completely smart, like smart refrigerators, leak detectors, smart toothbrushes, sensors, a sensory room. All of it was smart, literally. So this is kind of a video of that smart home and in the process, I think, building and then moving in. So we can kind of take a look at this and then I'll explain more after.
What's up, Jim? Unbelievable. I love it. Jim. How are you?
I really like this house because, well, it's big in a lot of room. We can play like cornhole in the back or in front, like bring some couple friends over, like toss the football, dribble the basketball, or do other fun things.
I think it's awesome. I think it's exciting.
How do we take technology and virtual remote supports, combine those to develop a package that really is accessible, that could be affordable? The 4 guys that live here, it's going to drastically change their lives, but then the 400 that are going to come after them, that we can take what we learn here and really increase people's independence by just learning and growing and changing the way we actually provide the service.
We have thought and felt so long, what it would take for us to provide Drew with a situation like this. And, the cost, the expense, the right supports, the right environment. We didn't imagine that was going to happen for so long, or if it could have even happened at all. I think it will be great because I will get to know the guys that I'm living with and be able to be back in my home community.
It was unbelievable.
Really, there are no words. You took a step into a future that you never imagined was possible. And it's indescribable. It's phenomenal, from toothbrushes all the way to smart refrigerators. And I know I'm at a loss for words, but there are no words to describe what we see and how grateful we are for that. 23 years ago, we never knew this was even going to be possible.
What we're looking at is a house. It's so much more than that.
I feel like this is just giving him a chance to be Jim and go as far as he can. And I'm very excited, very grateful, very grateful.
Don't know the words to say. It's just finally home.
Hey Alexa, put on Dance Blast.
Okay.
So that was just an example of what we saw and like all the smart home technologies that really do promote independence for individuals. So no, that was really great to see. And kind of to go off that, like I mentioned earlier, we took the assessment tool that actually occupational therapy students from Xavier used, and they kind of made to determine what the individuals would need to move into this home. So we took their tool because it was free, Grateful for that. We took that tool and I used that for the assessments on the 9 individuals that we completed it on. So to kind of get into that assessment, this assessment recommended certain technologies matched, like based off the answers they gave during the questions, which all of these questions related to their independence level and 7 domains, which these 7 domains fall into occupational therapy. So the instrumental activities of daily living, rest, sleep, education, work, leisure, social participation, activities of daily living, and I've also focused on some safety concepts in all of those. And while I was doing these assessments, I had a direct support professional present just for additional input because I obviously didn't know the individual as much as they did or as well as they did. So after getting the input from the individual that we support, I would just, if the coach wanted to chime in or the individual wanted the coach to chime in, they could, and they offered that input and kind of gave me an insight of where they were standing when using technology or where they could benefit from using technology. So the results of these technology assessments were actually all the smart technology recommendations that I'll get into. So the common themes I saw were a lot needing reminders, alarms, health monitoring, routines, and nutrition. So the nutrition could be based off like portion wise, recipes, knowing the steps for a recipe, or needing it to be like said out loud to you for an auditory cue. Smartwatches, smartphones, and Amazon devices were recommended for these things. So smartwatches I found could help with fall prevention if one was at a fall risk, but they could also be set for reminders, alarms, even GPS location. They were also helping with activity monitoring and seizure monitoring. And then the Amazon devices, the Echo Show with the screen would be very beneficial. And then the client-specific apps and skills or accessibility features were also a thing, just especially the ones with the screen to be a visual aid for individuals. And then another thing that was recommended were motion sensors, which could be activity monitoring. So knowing if someone were to take a medication at a certain time, if fridge doors were opening, so like indicating that they were eating in the morning or at night at a certain time, at a specific time. And then front doors, so this could be if they were leaving for work on time, or if you notice that they weren't leaving for work on time, you could kind of track that motion sensor, see if it's opening, closing, things of that nature. So that it was definitely eye-opening to see what technologies were recommended from that assessment tool. And this assessment tool also gave us some limitations, I will say. It kind of recommended a default type of deal. So it would give a certain, probably like 4 devices, even if I didn't click everything. So that was definitely a limitation of this. And that is why I will be making a new assessment tool for the North End apartments. So key takeaways overall. Definitely use technology to its full potential. I saw that it really wasn't being used for everything that it offers, which researching apps, skills that could be helpful for the individual, and then changing the accessibility features to meet their needs so they're using their technology more. So if it's more inviting, hopefully they would use it more. Another thing is encouraging independence with the use of technology. So making appointments, setting reminders in a calendar for themselves, texting or calling on a smartphone. That kind of leads to social participation. So planning a community outing, finding recipes, making a grocery list, so adding it to their notes or getting an app more associated with shopping so they can make a grocery list and add on to it from there. Googling questions before maybe asking someone, putting in directions, and using a calculator. So I think a lot of the assessments also, it was interesting too, because a question asked if someone were out in the community and they were lost, would they go up to a stranger and ask how to get somewhere or where to get somewhere? And a lot of people said no, which I get. It's an unfamiliar person and don't talk to strangers. I totally understand that. So that's why using a smartphone would be super helpful, or having a smartphone in general, which could be super beneficial. And then even as a coach, practicing putting in directions, maybe say, okay, we're gonna go shopping today. you have a smartphone, show me where the closest Kroger is, something like that. And then using a calculator. So this also came up because during the assessment, there was a financial question, which I know a lot of people don't handle their financials, but if they do, and if they were using cash at a store, I know everything is mostly card, but if they were using cash and they say the total was $15.25 and they hand the cashier 20, you want to make sure they know how much money they should be getting back. Even if this is you going to the grocery store with them as a coach and you pay with cash, they get it back. And if they don't know what it is, maybe try taking out that calculator on their phone and adding it up just to make sure you are getting the right amount, or doing the 20 minus 15.25, making sure I'm receiving the 475 back, something like that. So again, encouraging independence with the use of technology, encouraging the use of technology overall. Lastly, don't be afraid of technology. I know it can seem super daunting, especially because all the things in the world, and I think technology can sometimes have a negative kind of, I don't know, ring to it, with social media and everything, but really it can be so helpful. So again, using it for trial and error. Obviously, one thing's going to work for someone and not work for the next. So again, there's something for everything and everyone, and that can be low tech or high tech. And assistive technology is, the definition of assistive technology is any object, item, what have you, if it's enhancing or facilitating someone's occupational performance, it's a form of assistive technology. So it can be low tech, high tech, anything in between. So really the options are endless with that. So definitely don't be afraid of it. So my next steps, I will be creating that new assessment tool to target the North End community. So I'll be kind of tying in Hannah's project with the community integration, asking more questions about getting involved in the community and their surroundings. Then I would also be including more in the butterfly management system, which this is the access into the building at North End. So for security purposes, making sure they know how to access it on their smartphone, how to access it on their Echo Show 10, all of that. So kind of just making sure they know the process and can figure that out. I would also be sending out another technology survey to the 40 before completing technology assessments to again see what they have, because we want to kind of translate it over. So if they're using Google products, keep it in the same family, even though they will have an Amazon Alexa Echo Show 10, but just kind of like transferring everything over. So it's a more easy transition for them. And then also I will continue researching more technology resources within the community. I know Easter Seals Crossroads Lending Library is a very popular resource. So in this case, you can try out a device for 30 days. You have to go through like a registration period, which this is also a form in the binder, resource binder that I have, and it will be available on through like e-files. But this lending library, you can trial a device for 30 days. So say you don't want to buy it right away and you kind of want to test the waters. So you get it for 30 days. You're like, oh, I really like this, and saw the positive impact it had on me or my loved one or caregiver or client. So you can buy it next time you kind of feel like it after you try it out. So I thought that was a super cool option to kind of try out technology. And then lastly, I just have this survey for everyone to take. If you could, I would appreciate it. It's kind of just going to go over technology, how you feel about it, how you felt about me kind of giving this presentation. Yeah, so that was basically it. Thank you.